I want to ask your thoughts on the news that we've seen this week regarding Fed Chair Powell. Are you concerned about the independence of the Fed, and what do you think needs to happen from here?
Yeah, I'm very worried about the independence of the Fed. And I'm going to say something that I know many people are going to say, what? This sounds crazy. But I actually think, given the pressures, and they're not over, Trump is going to launch in again, that are on Powell, that the long-term independence of the Fed may very well be enhanced if he steps down. And I know that sounds shocking, but let me tell you my reasoning. If the economy goes south, let's say, in the second half of the year, and I'm not saying I'm expecting this at all, and I certainly hope it doesn't, but let's face it, Trump has the perfect scapegoat in Jay Powell. He's going to lambaste him. He said he didn't lower the interest rates. That's why we're in trouble. It's not going to blame anything else. And a lot of people can say, yeah, this is his second big mistake after not taking care of inflation. Too slow there, too slow now. He'll fire him. And what I worry about is he could get to Congress and say, listen, you got to give me more powers over the Fed. We've got to reduce the power of the Fed. I got to pick the chairman when I want, how I want, how long I want. That is a threat. Don't forget, our Federal Reserve is not at all a part of our Constitution. It's a creature of the U.S. Congress, created by the Federal Reserve Act, 1913. All its powers devolve from Congress. Congress has amended the Federal Reserve Act many times. It could do it again. It could give powers. It can take away powers. Given the current Republican Congress, pretty and throw to the president, if he wants changes and the economy goes down and it's blamed on Chairman Powell, he'll get them.
But then, Professor Siegel, doesn't it matter who then fills that void and whether the market trusts that they will be acting independently? If Fed Chair Powell were to step down, doesn't it matter more for the sanctity of this kind of independence notion for the Fed? Who takes his place?
Well, but his independence already has been, greatly diminished. He's only going to be chairman at most 10 more months, and it's going to be less than that, especially if Trump, announces a shadow chairman. Furthermore, there's two good candidates, Kevin Warsh, Kevin Hassett. Kevin Hassett I know extremely well. Kevin Warsh, I listened closely to his, it was on Squawk Box yesterday morning. I was very impressed with his analysis. I think he would be an excellent chairman. By the way, both of them have actually far more monetary training than does Jay Powell. So I think we're not handing this to a hack. Yeah, would interest rates go down a little bit faster? Probably, yes. Is that a disaster? Really, no. I mean, there's many, many economists. I'm one of them, but, we heard from Waller. There's several others. And probably the most famous one, the Taylor rule, which John Taylor, who almost became Fed chairman, has been the most followed and talked about rule for setting rates, says the Fed funds rate should be in the 3% range. Now, I know Trump has said 2, 1, and all that, and that's not going to happen. But there is a case. And right now, I think it's so politically compromised. He's going to go into the meeting, and anyone who supports lower rates is going to be considered a Trump lackey. Listen, I want Trump to own this economy. No scapegoat. If he gets to pick someone and the economy goes south, he really doesn't have anyone to blame. Oh, he'll probably try to blame Powell for something in the past. He's still blaming Biden for things in the past. But that won't have the credibility that if Powell does make a mistake here, it would be very bad for the Fed. And if things go well, let's assume the economy booms. Do you think Powell is going to get any credit? Do you think the Fed is going to get any credit? No, it's going to be the big, beautiful bill. It's going to be, Trump's tax cuts, Trump's tariffs, Trump's deregulation. No one is going to remember Chairman Powell. No one's going to say he's the one that caused it. So there's no upside. This is a difficult situation. I mean, I'm not giving good choices here. I'm just saying perhaps the least bad choice. You still serve at the pleasure. No, every 4 years the president chooses you. He chooses every member of the board. He chooses the chair. He chooses the vice chair. So how much independence really is there? You want to maintain, the ability not to be able to just say, okay, you're the reason this economy didn't well. Nothing to do with my policies. And I'm afraid that if the economy goes south, there will be more and more people that will believe that explanation.